action.
Yes. So like this is really a win-win
It's a win-win
option.
situation.
So what Taguig can do, as you said, they can buy the land
yes,
from
yes.
BCDA. So BCDA receives its share, and
Yeah.
then this will now go to
The armed forces of the
AFP
Philippines.
modernization.
Yes, yes,
Now, are you optimistic that such a deal can be reached, and how soon do you think
well, I
this
hope,
kind of deal would happen?
you know, if we are all reasonable people, and we are just stewards, this is not for our own personal benefit. This is for the benefit of our armed forces. So, and I think as long as the law is being followed and compliance to the regulations are being made, then I think we can resolve this. We don't have to always fight about this.
Of course,
but it's really, really important as government entity that we uphold the rule of law and create a fair and level playing field for all businesses. The corporate squabbles are, you know, for these private corporations to compete with each other. But what's important for us as government is to create the level playing field where all these players would now compete with each other.
Yes.
And create the best value for our government.
And it sends a good signal to foreign investors.
Precisely.
Because, I mean, this whole stink with what happened with this supposed illegal construction of this mall, what signal does it give to foreign investors? Like, you have this, and you know, SM really inaugurated this mall with a big splash.
Yes.
And then news came out after that, hey, it is questionable.
Yes,
so,
yes, yes.
right?
Yeah. Well, business, we will be able to sustain our economic growth on a sustainable on a sustained basis if we will be able we're able to uphold the rule of law, because the rule of law provides a fair and level playing field.
For sure.
Whether you're big or you're small, as long as you on your merits, the law will weigh you based on your capability to compete in the business.
This is another question, because now that you're talking to me, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a layperson. I understand it now. I understand now very clearly what the issue was, what the issue is, and then what the problem was. It's strange that the city government of Taguig back then, you know, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of smart guys there as well. Why didn't they come up with this option in the first place? Like, you know, so that it's clear from the start and there's no problem, and all of this could have been avoided. Had they just approached the BCDA probably and say, and like with a win-win solution, tell you we'll buy it from you guys and we'll lease it to SM because this is our plan.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I cannot speculate, but I wish it should have been done.
Yes.
In fact, it took a while for BCDA to actually act, because we were having dialogues with them. We were saying, let's comply with the civic center use.
But as you said, you know, until they really open the mall, it's impossible to know. And legally, what can you do? Because there's no way to prove that it will be a mall, right? Until they finally really open.
Yes, yes, and which we did. You know, once we got information and they started advertising that's going to be a mall, and then that's the time we raised this issue.
Even your actions are really rule of law. You really followed things by the book, did things by the book.
Yes, because we're government, and we want to sustain that, you know, the good governance. That, you know, every government should behave in the same way business should behave. So everyone should have that kind of transparent and ethical actions whenever we do business. And since we deal with a lot of businesses, we welcome partnerships with all of them. BCDA is not only a market player; we are the market.
Yes.
We are because of the land holdings that we have and the capability that we have. It's the companies, private sector coming to us to partner with us. So we welcome partnerships with all of them. But to do that, we must be able to treat all of them fairly.
Of course, very
based on their own merits.
Very good. Attorney, BCDA's plans for the future, what are the big projects in the pipeline that we're going to look forward to?
Well, immediately we were disposing the remaining land in Fort Bonifacio.
You're talking about the Bonifacio Naval Station?
The naval station, and also the Navy land just in front of it. Because in December, there's the Modernization Act of the Armed Forces allows BCDA to be the disposition entity of the Armed Forces for all lands across the country. So we could develop military lands in Bukidnon, in all parts of the country.
Wow.
So in Fort Bonifacio, because of the real estate market, you know, it's in the upswing. So we want to take advantage of that by disposing the land when the market is so good.
So the Navy will really be out of Fort Bonifacio completely. I mean, as per the plan of BCDA. What about the Army? You know, the Army has shrunk. The Army reservation
Yes,
has shrunk a lot. Can we expect it to shrink even further?
Yeah, well, we'll look into that also because we need the proper and best utilization of military lands. So what we want our AFP to have is a long-term investment in infrastructure. So they must be able to develop a beautiful camp, a camp that would really be, they'll be very proud of. Not like a squatter or something.
Of course,
you know.
of course.
So if we are going to invest in facilities of our armed forces, we really want it to be very modern, that our soldiers will be very proud of. We want to treat our soldiers with dignity and honor, befitting their uniform and their rank and the service that they give to our country. So if they have to have a camp, it must be a camp that they could really, really be very proud of. It's efficient, it's secure, and it provides all the resources that they need. So, but currently, because of the commercialization and urbanization in that area, it may not be a good use anymore. So they could probably retain some areas for administrative offices, but for a main camp, I don't think there's a need for a main camp
in the city.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes, so
True.
what we need is the headquarters, just like a Pentagon-like headquarters. Well, you could bring all the service commanders in one building, you know, because it's a matter of efficiency also.
Yes, of course.
So if you have a command conference, if the chief of staff calls for a command conference,
in the capital,
it's in one complex.
Yes,
so
yes.
they don't need to fly the chief of staff from somewhere, which also drains the resources of our armed forces. When in fact they could be in one building, housed in a secure complex, and then they just call each other and then come up with a meeting in the conference room. So that kind of efficiency.
Excellent. Attorney, unfortunately, we run out of time. I want to talk about Camp John Hay, pero our time has run out, unfortunately.
Okay.
But in the future, I mean, as this issue with John Hay also develops, we will definitely talk about Camp John Hay. I mean, this is a place close to many Filipinos' hearts because it is the best place to spend time in Baguio.
Yes,
so,
yes. Oh, let me know if you want.
Attorney, before we go, you want to say something to the viewers?
Well, at first, I'd like to thank you, buddy, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak to our people about these issues of national interest. And I would like to assure our people, particularly our armed forces, that what we do in BCDA is for your interest. And we know that it's a difficult process. There are a lot of challenges that would be thrust against us even. And we'll be maligned, will be a lot of things that will even be sued. But we will move on because we know how important it is for our country, and particularly for armed forces. Our armed forces, particularly now in the midst of challenges that they face, they need all our support. I think every Filipino, every patriotic Filipino must put our armed forces in their hearts. That's the only way we could reform the armed forces and really be proud of the soldiers that we have.
Attorney Casanova, maraming po salamat. Thank you very much for coming to the show, and congratulations on a good job at BCDA.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show and are more enlightened about the issues concerning SM Aura in Taguig and BCDA. Join us again next week here on the show where we talk about what matters to you, because you guys matter the most. I'll see you next week.